Hey everybody, my name is Snow and I'm here today to help you guys learn how to play Mercy better. First though, a little bit about me and my qualifications as a player. I've got about 700 hours on Mercy across all of my accounts and about 1100 in total on all heroes. In my time playing Overwatch, I've hit top 500 in seasons 6, 7, and 11, and I've been a part of a bunch of teams. As of now, my biggest accomplishment is ending number 34 out of all Open Division teams in the most recent season of OD while playing for Ontario Esports. But enough rambling on that. Now to the guide. Mercy pretty much completely boils down to her abilities and how you use them. Beam prioritization, blah blah blah. I really don't think healing your team is that difficult to understand. There are plenty of videos about beam prioritization, and I'm sure you can find one, but I just think it's about keeping everyone alive. The one tip about your beams that I do have is that you make sure you damage boost your team while you're in Valkyrie. A lot of Mercies neglect the power of damage boost, and especially while it's team wide. Fight the urge to top off the 170 health McCree, because it's way more valuable to give your whole team a 30% damage increase than it is to give one teammate 30 health. Number 5. Remember to hold track, or if you don't know how to, learn. This helps when trying to analyze win conditions. Honestly, it's pretty easy to hold track. Just look at the enemy team comp, and every 45 seconds to a minute and a half, assume that a player has his or her ultimate. It's literally that easy. Just remember that information and stay on top of the ult economy, which is what most people call this. If you know what ults they have, you'll be more aware of who the high value targets are. Focusing the Zarya with Graviton Surge is a lot more valuable than spamming shots into a D.Va for ult charge. Number 4. This is sort of an extension from number 5, but know what to do with the information from when you start ult tracking. Many ults have pretty obvious answers to what to do against them, but some are more obscure. Some of these most obscure ones, in my opinions, are going to be the tank ults. As a Mercy player, you can't really do all that much with your kit against it, but call it out. Make sure you play away from your team when they have combos or high damage ults, or play incredibly aggressively with your team in order to deny a chance for the enemy team to ult on your team. However, because you're playing Mercy, you're going to get focused. Remember what to do with specific ults. Some notable ones would be Dragon Blade, Earth Shatter, and Graviton Surge. All of these ultimates set up plays for the enemy team, so generally just play far away from your team when they have them. A side note is that when they have a Genji who has his blade, try to use the super jump that I'll show you later on in order to stay up in the air so that it'll be harder for the Genji to come for you. Number 3. Learn the rules of res. Normally, there's two categories that a res falls into. Either a clutch res or a numbers res. A numbers res is a res that's done in order to erase a kill the enemy team has gotten so that they don't have numbers advantage. A clutch res is pretty much any well thought out res that you've planned in advance. Like if you realize that you need that teammate for the next team fight. Like resing a Zenyatta so that he can counter the enemy team Zarya Hanzo combo. Both of these reses are fine and acceptable, but remember that res has a 30-second cooldown and you might need it in a bit. Don't think, can I res this and is this safe? Think, should I res this? Is this worthwhile? Most of the time, it's possible for you to get a res off anyways, so think about the win condition for this next and or current fight. Do I need this teammate alive to meet the win condition? How can I get this res off? Normally, if a res is risky, you can go for it with a Zarya bubble, Mei wall, Ryan shield, Symmetra barrier, any number of things that force the enemy's attention off of you while letting you get the res off. If that's not possible, look for a super jump res, like this one. This kind of a res allows you to get a risky res off while making it harder for the enemy team to shoot at you. This is probably one of the most effective ways for you to get a teammate up when you're in combat. Number 2. Know when and how to Valkyrie. Valkyrie is pretty stupid as an ultimate ability. It charges really fast and it isn't impactful, but it's effective at keeping you alive and letting you manage multiple fights at once. The best times to use it are to create a point presence. On defense, I'll activate Valkyrie if one of my teammates die. The extra healing and increased self-healing makes it difficult for the enemy team to push in with their numbers advantage. On attack, I'll wait for our team to get a pick and then activate it. This strategy really plays off of increasing an advantage that you already have, or balancing the playing field if you already lost something. Overall, that's the best way that I use Valkyrie. Remember that, because if you realize that you have an advantage that maybe isn't that obvious, activate Valkyrie, tell your team to play aggressively, and grab your popcorn.
I don't really know what's going on.
And one last thing about Valkyrie. It's not a spectator ultimate, as some people might try to claim. You might just be healing, but you can also see every enemy player's health while you're in Valkyrie. Use that to call targets to a low. You also have free flight. Maybe try to contest the enemy Widow who's sniping your team, or the fire in the sky that your DPS can't hit. There's a lot of versatility to Valkyrie, so try to experiment with it. Number 1. Learn Mercy's Guardian Angel mechanics. In some of the most recent patches, Mercy players have discovered an awesome technique that you can use to throw yourself up into the air using her Guardian Angel ability. This mechanic is incredibly useful for juking out enemy Genjis and Tracers, while your team isn't helping you. However, I recommend you don't use it versus hit-scan heroes, like Widow, McCree, and Soldier, because it's super easy to shoot you. Sometimes it's even easier to shoot you while you're falling because it's a predictable pattern. In order to perform the super jump, crouch, immediately activate Guardian Angel, and as you're approaching your teammate, press space. During this process, you'll notice that normally you'll ride the floor in a trajectory that's more like a parabola, and as you're reaching your teammate, you press space, right as you're coming up. In order to perform the super jump res that we showed earlier, you have to press space sooner than if you're just doing a normal straight up super jump. It's pretty weird, but you'll learn how to do it eventually. Just practice it in the training range, or in a custom game, or just in some quick play matches. And one last thing. If you've ever played Mercy, played her in a quick play match, competitive, whenever, and you notice that there's a little way that you can get crazy momentum during Valkyrie, here's where it gets weird. During Valkyrie, as it's ending, if you fly to a teammate, then press space to do the bunny hop as Valkyrie is ending, you will go flying, like here in this clip. You'll see that in this clip, as Valkyrie ends a bunny jump, I will go soaring, way faster than I should. You can use this little trick to your advantage in a way to evade the enemy team, move around the map, or just mess with their aim. If you can't find a practical application for it, it's helpful to know what situations this happens in so you don't accidentally do it and get yourself killed. Thank you to everybody who watched all the way to the end. I hope that this video helped everybody out. If you want to watch more of my gameplay, I stream at twitch.tv/snowy_support, where you can also ask me more questions about Mercy. I'm always looking to help more people get better at the game, so stop by and I'll try to help you out. I'm Snow, and I hope I get to see you guys again.
Oh my god, it's the sea